Money makes the world go round. I'm the talk around town. Remy gave me the sound. I need a Skrilla on the Rilla.
I enjoy teaching you guys. I enjoy sharing my storage, my knowledge, my experience that I have. If I could add a little bit of value to what you're already doing today to help you to increase your business, maybe offer more services, then I've succeeded. I go to a lot of conferences, I see other people talk. A lot of these, when it comes to real estate investing and flips, is look at what I've done, look what I've accomplished, look at all these successful flips. And I thought, what if there's a class that shows everything that goes wrong with flips? And I essentially could provide a list of, if you can avoid all these mistakes, your flips will be great. And when I started putting all this material together, it narrowed it down to 3 main mistakes people made. And if you can avoid these 3 pitfalls, 99% of your flips will be profitable. Does that sound good? Yes. All right. So my name is Andrew Bang. I'm with Boomerang Capital. Boomerang Capital is a local REIT here. How I got involved with them, I want to tell you a little bit about my origin story, my background. Not a lot, but just so you know where I came from, and really how there's a lot of, everyone's got to start somewhere. Everyone's got to flip that first home. And I flipped my first home back in 2008. So when I met my wife, this is my wife Amy, we were both in college, and when it started getting serious between us, I told her, look, I understand the value of a 4-year education. I'm going to get my college degree, but I enjoy working with my hands. I enjoy something service-oriented. I had some construction background. I said, I'll probably be a plumber, maybe an electrician. That's kind of where I see myself going. And what I told her was, I'm probably going to have my name on my shirt. That's what I'm going to do. So I ended up, we got married, graduated college. I got an accounting degree from Arizona State University, and I got a job as an accountant right out of school. But I kept my eyes open for opportunities that would come along. 2008, the market crashes. Foreclosures start coming in bunches. And a friend of mine makes an offer in a house in Levine, short sale. And she offers $190 on this property in Levine. She wants to buy it as a rental. The bank says no. And her real estate agent was knowledgeable about the foreclosures and trustee auctions. She goes, look, this property is going to trustee auction next week. Let's go there and just try to buy it there. They didn't know anything about it, but they go to the auction one day before. They see kind of how it works. You need a $10,000 cashier check. They show up the next day. They buy the house for $176,000. So I'm like, well, that doesn't make sense. The bank said no to 190, then accepted 176 a week later. And not only that, there was multiple offers on this house. She wasn't the only person making offer. So I go down to the trustee auctions. I learn about them. I say, there's an opportunity here. So at the time, I was a staff accountant for a construction company. And I go to them and I say, look, we are losing revenue, sales every day. They were building new homes here in Arizona and in California. I said, there's all these foreclosures. What if we start, instead of trying to build new homes, buy these distressed homes and turn around and sell them? And I wrote up a business proposal, and they gave me a chance. I bought my first home March of 2008, and within 3 months, I had flipped 5 homes for them. So a few months go by, I'm flipping homes for them. I'm meeting all these people at the trustee auction, making these connections. I realize I need to go out on my own. I keep the construction company as a client, so I'm still buying homes for them, but then I open up my own company where I can do a bid service for others, and I can buy homes for myself. And from there, it took off. So by 2011, I had flipped 100 homes. I stopped counting. I think I'm probably around 300 or 350 at this point. 2018 comes along. By that time, I had done all these different strategies. When you're flipping homes, all these opportunities come your way. I was doing subject to, I was doing seller carries. I had billboards up, we'll buy your home for cash. My company name, and it's still active, it's called Offer and Close. I was sending out mailers, and I was doing private money. So I'd buy a property at the trustee auction. I'd assign my winning bid sheet to another investor who was going to flip it for a few $1,000s more. Then I'd carry that note at 18%. That's what hard money was at back in 2008, 2009. And so I'm like, well, I just made $5,000 in one day plus 18% on my money for 3 months. Meanwhile, I didn't carry any of that risk. I love that deal. How many more of those can I do? It took me 10 years to realize that's where I should focus on full time. So I kept flipping. 2018, I'm like, flipping is great. I really enjoy buying a house, getting into it, remodeling it, and then choosing all the design. But then once you start working with the contractors and things go wrong, and then once you start showing buyers, things go wrong. I'm like, I would love to be involved with flips, but on a smaller basis. And so the lending is exactly where I should go. So 2018, I reached out to 6 different hard money lenders that I had relationships with, that I had done loans with. I said, look, I'm looking to make a transition. I still want to flip a little bit on the side, but I want to focus full time on the hard money, on lending to others who are flipping homes. And I said, I'll bring in all my contacts. I'll do all my own marketing. Boomerang Capital is one of the lenders that I had worked with. And all 6 made me an offer. Boomerang said, at the time, Boomerang was just doing a few loans here in Phoenix, and then most of their loans were in Denver. And they said, we want to expand. We want to grow. We want to open up Texas. If you come with us, Texas will be all yours. And then they started talking about benefits and pay. I said, hold on. Y'all had me at Texas. So I've been with Boomerang ever since. It's been a great match. So in the last 3 years, I've funded over 1,200 flips now for them. Last year, I was in the Scotsman's Guide, is the publication that keeps track of mortgage lenders. I was the number 2 lender for my category, called non-QM loans, in the nation. So, and I think when I look at other hard money lenders, they have commercial banking background or mortgage background. My background's not in banking, it's not in mortgages, it's in flipping homes. So when I talk to an investor and they bring me a home, I look at that home as if I were to flip it myself. And I say, all right, these are things I like about it. These are things that you need to be careful of. This one's here in Houston. The 3 most common questions I get asked is where, what, and how. Where do you find properties to flip? What makes a good flip? What makes the best flip? And then how do you fund these deals? So where? Where do you find properties like this? So you're looking for distressed properties or distressed owners. Distressed properties are properties that need work. There are investment companies that specialize marketing to one or the other. So we buy ugly homes, specifically targeting distressed properties, like this one here. This one happens to be on the MLS. When you think about, there's a good, better, and best when finding distressed properties. Distressed owner is an owner that's in debt. They are behind in their mortgage. They have tax liens, they have HOA liens, they have medical liens, whatever it is. They need to sell their house to get out of it. So there's companies that we buy homes for cash, skip the fuss of going with the real estate agent and that process. You need to sell your home quickly because the foreclosure's in 2 weeks or whatever is coming up. We'll buy your house, we'll get you out of that situation. The houses aren't always distressed in that situation. A lot of times it's a good house, but it's the owner that needs to get out of it. So there's companies that specifically, the 30, 60, 90-day late notices are targeted by almost every single company that's buying homes to flip. They're calling them up, they're knocking on the door, and they're sending out their mailers. I saw that you're behind in your mortgage. Do you need help getting out of this problem? They're real estate solution companies. They're getting those properties and finding them, and they're rehabbing them and flipping them. So on this deal here, they're buying it for $105, rehab $60, ARV is $220. ARV is after repair value. The most important number when you look at a flip is what's the maximum value I can get for this property? What will I be able to list this property for once it's fully renovated? That is the after repair value, the ARV. So with this deal, the loan I would give them is $140,250. Their cash to close, they're bringing $27,000 to closing. Their profit at that price is $34,000. Their annual return on investment is 296% on their money. The average flip is 4 months. So 1 month to rehab, 1 month on the market, 1 month in escrow, 1 month for to add on to any of those months that take a little bit longer. So our average flip loan is about 105 days. Good, better, best. Finding distressed homes. On the MLS with a real estate agent is good. There are deals on the MLS, they are hard to find. The MLS is the best place to go to sell your home for maximum value. It's not the best place to go to find distressed properties. Okay? The better is wholesalers. Wholesalers are investment companies or individuals that advertise, I'll buy your homes for cash. They get the bandit signs on the roads. Do you need to sell your home? I'll buy it for cash. I'll make it easy. They send out the mailers. They lock properties up, put them under contract, and then they have that contract that they sell or assign to another investor. Wholesalers put out 10 to 100 homes every day. If I got on my phone right now, while we've been in this class in the last 20 minutes, there's probably 5 to 10 homes that came out in Maricopa County that are off market. As a real estate agent or as an investor, you want to get on every single one of their lists. Create a new email. Okay? Don't do your email because it'll get flooded. Create a new email. Find these wholesalers. I have a list of all the active wholesalers in Phoenix. I keep it active. I'll share that list with you. And then you send them an email. I'm a cash buyer. Can I get on your list? And you'll start getting these homes every day. So if you have a client that comes to you and say, hey, I'd love to buy a rental. I don't mind a little work. Or I'd love to buy a fix and flip. Can you help me find one? You've got a whole nother source of properties coming to you. And all the wholesalers, they don't mind adding on a realtor commission. The third best. So good, better, best. Good, real estate agent. Better, wholesaler. The best is direct owner. Getting into someone's home, speaking to them directly, and making them a cash offer on their home. That's the best way to find a property below market value. So it's how much effort and how much money do you want to put into it? Do you want to go knock on doors of people who got their late notices that has a big lien on their property and say, hey, I can help you out with your situation? Sending out the mailers. So if you're able to put that time into it, you'll find the best deals. If you don't have that time, a real estate agent is great, or getting involved with all the wholesalers. That's great too. Any questions about the first one before I go to the next one? There's a lot of mentorships, and they all use the same formula. It's called the MAO, the maximum allowable offer. So you take your ARV, the most you could sell the house for, you times it by 70%, you minus repairs. That'll give you the number. That's the maximum allowable offer you should make on that property. You should always offer less. And then the most you would take is that number. That's what they teach. It never happens. You buy a home at 82, 83% of the ARV, you're going to make money on it. That's where I see most homes bought, in between that 80 and 83%. That's where most wholesalers sell it at.
We'll do quality work, but they won't price gouge new flippers.
Yeah.
Because that's what's going to kill it.
Finding consistent quality contractors is difficult. And the good ones, they are booked out forever because they're good. And then once a good investor finds a good one, I mean, once you flip one house, you guys, and that money hits your bank account, years before that happened, you've been thinking, I should flip a house. And then once you get to that point where the money actually hits your account, that wire comes in from title, you are no longer a real estate investor by theory, you are a real estate investor by experience. And you see that, okay, there's $20,000 at the end of this rainbow. I want to do this as many times as I possibly can. So that contractor that helped you flip that house, that you're like, oh, it was actually a good contractor, you're going to go put as many homes under contract as you can that match the home that you just flipped, and you're going to use that contractor. So he's not going out there trying to find new business.
Is it where just the...
Yeah, so let's say, forget all the other numbers. Someone's looking to flip this house. They look at the comps, they say, I know if I remodel this house, I can get $220,000 for it. So if someone has a calculator, I don't even know how that relates to these. Someone has a calculator, they do 220 times 70. What do you get? 154 minus 60,000. So that's 96,000. So their maximum allowable offer that they've learned through all these real estate classes is they shouldn't offer more than $96,000 for this house. This person's buying it at 105 and they're going to make $34,000 with only having to use $27,000 of their own money or someone else's money for the down payment. And if they do that 3 times in a year, they're making 296% on their money. Yeah. So there's software out there that specifically will give you the list. PropStream is the biggest one. They just sold for like $100 million. So PropStream puts together, they'll give you a list of every single city in the whole United States of anyone who has a HOA lien, anyone's going through a divorce, anyone that just inherited a property, anyone that has a tax lien, anyone that is behind in their mortgage. And then what you're going to do is you're going to specify an area. So the easiest ones is out-of-state owner. You want someone who owns a property that doesn't live there, that's got some pain. They've got a HOA lien, they've got a tax lien, they got a medical lien. Their credit score just dropped by 50 points. There's so many different ways. They just did a bail bond. I love that one. Someone's going to jail and they got a lien on their house. I'm talking to that person. I'm saying, you might, what's the situation? You need to sell your house pretty quick here? So the most popular lists are the 30, 60, 90-day late notices. So someone misses their mortgage payment, they get a notice from their mortgage company. That mortgage company records the notice they sent to that person. They have to record 3 of them before they go to the trustee auction. And so you are given a list of, hey, here's everyone, their most valuable asset in the world, their home. They're not able to make their payment on it. They are in distress. Okay? Or especially if you see, this person got their 90, 60, and 30. So when they got that 90-day, they didn't take care of it. They weren't able to make their payment up. What homes make the best flips? All right, any property can be flipped if you buy it for the right price. That's obvious, right? But there are certain properties that sell more per square footage and sell quicker than all the rest. Here in Arizona, single story, 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom with a pool. That home sells for more per square footage and has smaller days on market historically than any other home in that category. Single story, 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom with a pool. So this home's here in on Downing Street in Mesa. They're buying it for $320. Rehab, they estimated $25,000. She said I might even be able to do it for $10,000. ARV is $420. In this market, who knows what the ARV is going to be in a month. She's got $420. She's got homes in that same neighborhood that are active for $450 around the same square footage. She has a model comp at $420. And I'm saying, look, even if you sell it for $400, there's still some room in it. $420 is a good place because it's in between what homes are selling for and what something's already sold for. Loan $293. Their cash to close is about $56,000. They're going to make $32,000. Their return on investment, 137%. This is a perfect first flip. You're not moving any walls. You're not buying a home that was built 50 years ago that could have all these unseen things go wrong with it when you start going into the rehab. You're putting lipstick on a pig. You're doing carpet, paint, granite, clean it on the market. Okay? All right, neighborhoods. High-end older neighborhoods are neighborhoods I love to target for flips. Perfect example is right here in Ahwatukee. Homes built in the 60s, 70s, 80s. You want a neighborhood that has a wide range of comps. I want a home in that neighborhood that sold for $300,000, and I want a home in that neighborhood that sold for $900,000. Okay? Let me give you an example. I go look at a home in Gilbert. In that neighborhood, all the homes were built, let's say, between 1998 and 1999. And an 1,800 square foot in that neighborhood has sold in between $550,000 and $600,000. Okay? So if it doesn't even matter what price I buy it at. If I put $30,000 into that Gilbert house, the most I'll be able to get to it is $600,000. If I put $130,000 into that Gilbert 1,800 square foot house, the most I'll be able to get for it is $600,000. Because the buyer's pool, the comps are showing you what the buyer's pool is. I want a neighborhood that has a huge buyer's pool, where buyers are buying at $300,000 and $900,000. So if I buy a home and I put $30,000 into it, I know I can get the value. If I put $150,000 into it, I know I can get the value. Because there's 1,800 square foot homes in that neighborhood that, based on their character, based on the rehab they have, the value is a much wider range. So Ahwatukee I love, Tempe I love, Older Chandler, Dobson Ranch and Mesa I love. Arcadia is a perfect example of that, where you have that huge range. Yeah. So they want to make money, first of all. Right. So, but there are a lot of very good wholesalers. Let's just say this. Look, there are very good real estate agents and there's bad ones. There are very good wholesalers and there are bad ones. People tend to focus on the bad wholesalers and not look at, hey, there's actually about 10 really good wholesalers in Arizona. Yeah, their comps aren't always right, but a lot of times they miss low. Sometimes they miss high. When I was at the trustee auction, there was, at the end of 08, 09, before it got crazy, there's about 10 of us that were there every day. When you're at the auction, you have to have a $10,000 cashier check to buy the home. If you're the winning bid, you assign that $10,000 cashier check over to the auctioneer. You get a paper that says you have interest in this property. As long as you pay the remainder by tomorrow at 5 p.m., you'll buy the deed to the property. And then if there's liens, that's another issue. But if it's in first position, so each of us at the trustee auction had, I don't know, a couple $100,000, maybe $1 million of cashier checks in our pockets. Because any day when there's 1,000 foreclosures, you could buy one home or you could buy 10 homes. You just didn't know. And before that happened, though, before we start bidding on homes, there's a whole office, a team, comping these homes, driving these homes, doing the title report. So we all had our list. We had set our high bids. We had comped all these homes. I was comping 300 to 500 homes every single day during the trustee auctions. And then when you start doing that many, so I'd comp my homes till about midnight. I'd wake up at 6 a.m. I'd get in my car. I'd go drive these homes. If they were vacant, I'd try to break in and see what the inside looked like, right? If they weren't vacant, then you're looking for specific things. You look at you peek over the fence. How old's the AC unit? Is there anything that looks like intentional damage? Is there anything that look like work's been done on the property? What kind of cars are the people driving? How do they keep? There's like little tells that you're like, all right, it's North Phoenix, 21st Avenue in Glendale. I know homes sell here for $180,000. I'm looking just from the outside. It's occupied. I'm going to have a 90-day eviction that I'll have to do. I think it's a renter. I don't think it's the owner. So 90 days. If it's the owner, I know it's 5-day notice to vacate. Okay. And I'm saying I think it's $30,000 rehab. I'm putting a number on that house, and I'm going 1 hour later to the auction to bid on that house. And whether I make money on it or not is whether I got that $30,000 correct. Okay? Everyone at the auction was in the same situation. So you have people with millions of dollars buying these homes, comping hundreds of homes a day. I'd say if you could get a group of people that knew how to value a home in Phoenix, that was the group right there. Within that group of us 10 people, we'd each look at a house, and one person would say, I think it's worth $220, and the next person would say, I think it's worth $200, and the next person would say $180. The point I'm making is, even the best people that are doing really well at this, they can look at this home and they say, I know this home will sell for $420, and a guy that's flipped 1,000 homes will look at this and say, I know this home will sell for $440. There is opinions when it comes to value, no matter if you're an appraiser, investor, real estate agent.
It's interesting.
Absolutely. When you're looking at wholesale properties, make an offer that works for you. Yeah. Don't go off their price. Comp the property yourself. Get your real estate agent to comp it. Get your lender to comp it. I comp every single home that I come through, and if this property is selling for $390, I'm saying, look, I love the property. The rehab's going to be easy on it. I like the days on market in this neighborhood. But if you buy it at $320, the only person that's going to make money is me, your real estate agent, and your contractor. You need to get this for $290,000, or you should walk away from this deal, because there's plenty of more deals out there. Let this one go. So wholesalers, they don't always overvalue just to try to get, sometimes they are honestly trying to get the right value. Because if a wholesaler was always sending out properties with the wrong value, their properties will not sell. And so the good wholesalers, they do honestly try to get the right value. I think so. Yeah.
Andrew, where are you getting the profit split from?
Yeah, so from my profit split is from a big spreadsheet that I've made up over the years. Whenever anyone sends me a house, I put the price in there, I put the rehab in there, put the ARV. It auto-calculates how much interest they'll pay every month, all their holding costs, all the expenses, all real estate agent fees, all title fees, and it gives me that net number.
Okay, so that's what this is.
There's a lot missing from this number.
I'm trying to do math after.
That,
The simple computation of that, there's other stuff missing, just to be clear.
and to be clear, if If you're a contractor doing your own work, this is going to be higher. If you're a real estate agent listing your own house, that's going to be higher. I have made expenses in there for a contractor to get paid at his normal price, for a real estate agent to make 6%. All right, how do you fund these deals? Distressed owner or distressed house, they're only accepting cash, you guys. So who is a cash buyer? Either you're using your own money or you're using someone else's money. OPM is how it's referred to, other people's money. Cash buyers is an interesting topic because you go from investor to investor, real estate agent to real estate agent, title company to title company, and each has a different definition. If I were to buy a house and pay cash for it, but it's my dad's money, it's still a cash transaction, right? What if it's my uncle's money? Still a cash transaction, right? What if does it matter if my dad's an attorney or a UPS driver? You see, how he made that cash doesn't matter, right? Doesn't matter if my uncle's a doctor or if he's a financial advisor. It's still cash, right? I have access to that cash. Let's say the uncle is a financial advisor and he takes in a bunch of people's money and he starts a little fund. So he's lending that money to his niece. And so it's still cash, it's still a cash transaction, but it's not actually her uncle's money, it's her uncle's money that so we're getting complicated here, right? The point is, someone is going to buy a house, they have access to cash, that home can close in one day, there's no appraisal involved, there's no survey required, there's no lender that has to go through a long underwriting process. That's what hard money is. Hard money is your uncle's money, okay? So under that definition, everyone in here is a cash buyer, whether you knew it or not, because hard money does not pre-qualify buyers, it pre-qualifies properties. So when I get this property here in Garland and 265, 53 rehab, and I say that ARV is strong at 415, I pre-approve that property for anybody who wants to buy it, okay? Because I don't pull credit. I've never pulled credit. Hard money lenders don't care about credit. Credit in a hard money loan does not have any factor whether that loan defaults or not. I don't do appraisals. I don't want to wait a week and trust someone else on an opinion of their value. I want my opinion because my money's at stake. I want the investor's opinion because their money's at stake. Those are the opinions that matter. Whether that appraisal comes in high or low, it doesn't have any effect whether I do that loan or not. So that's why I've never ordered an appraisal. Okay, banks get a credit statement and they get an appraisal to sell the loan. Okay, they use that also to try to determine whether it will default or not. But the main reason why you have someone, if you want to sell a loan to one of the hedge funds that buys mortgages, you put a whole portfolio of loans together and they go, all right, what's the credit score on each one and what's the appraisal on each one? That's what they care about. Okay, so I did all these at 15% down. So you take the easy equation for hard money, how much you have to cash to close. 15% right now it used to be 10%. Market's changing. We're asking for 15%. We had a meeting with all the other funds. It happens. Okay. There was a Zoom call a couple weeks ago. A lot of the hard money lenders were there, and everyone's like, "What are you guys doing? You know, where do you see the market going?" We're like, "Oh, we're charging this. We're doing 20% down." Most of the people were now at 20 or 15% down. We're at 15% down. So you take the purchase price and rehab, add those two together, that'll give you what's called your total net cost. 15% of that money, that's what you're bringing to closing, plus title closing cost. So that's where that $52,000 cash to close came from.
Do you fund the construction cost and the purchase price?
Yes, both. So
80%, 100%?
So it's 85% of both up front. So how it works is you take these two, and 15% of that number is your down payment. But since you've already put your money into the property, I'm funding your rehab at 100%. So I'm taking $53,000. I'm setting it aside and say, hey, whenever you want to do your rehab, just draw on it. Let's say the first week you buy the house, you get the demo done, you put a new roof on. Just take pictures of the demo, take pictures of the roof so I see that you're doing the work, and I'll send you the full amount of demos, 5,000 roofs, 12,000. I send them $17,000. As a lender, you never want to be the reason why a property is held up or slowed down. You want to be the reason why everything goes smoothly. That's how you lose loans. When I do a loan, I want to make sure I do everything I can so I get another loan after they flip that house and make money.
Is it always 15%?
No.
Do you do a higher interest rate?
So right now, if you put more money down, your interest rate goes down. We're at 10% right now. If you put down more, well, right now 10% is where we're at. Market changing, it changed some things. We used to be, if you put down more, we could get 8.99% sometimes, 10.99% if it's higher leverage. If I was only asking him to put 10% down, it'd be a 10.99% loan. But most hard money is 10 or 11% right now.
Do you have limits as to how many properties or hard money loans you can lend to one particular investor?
So within the fund, we have no limits that are written down. But I'd say if I have 3 properties with one investor and he wants to buy another one, I say that first property you bought, where are we at in the process? If they haven't even started rehab, I say, you're in no position to buy another house. Let's focus on the homes you've already bought. And then once you get, if you have 3 properties, I want one being remodeled, one on the market, and one in escrow. If you're not showing me that you can manage contractors and get those homes on the market, then quit buying homes. You're just losing money. The holding costs are going to add up. Yeah, but I've done 10, 12 loans with one investor at one time. Yeah, the experienced investors are doing, 5 to 10 at the same time. All right, I've shown you 3 really good properties. 3 properties that make sense to buy, to flip. The numbers are good. The purchase price is good. The profit is great. This class really isn't about the numbers. I ran through it really quick. This class is about, all right, you have the property that makes sense to buy as a flip. Now what could go wrong? This is a property I funded a few years ago in Dallas, Texas. Investors, Eddie and Mark. Eddie is the contractor, Mark's the money man, and he finds the homes. Eddie is an excellent contractor. It got to the point where I was referring him to other investors in Dallas because I said, hey, I've seen his work. He was very successful on, I think, about 5 flips. They bought the property, they remodeled it, they sold it, they made good money. I liked working with Eddie and Mark, so I was lending him multiple properties. We had 6 properties out at this point. So he buys this property for $149,000. He does a full remodel. You can kind of see there. There's people living in there when I took that picture, when I had to visit it. But for $30,000, he remodeled the whole house. Put it on the market for $250,000. Really good profits. I said, you may be priced a little high, but why not? They're not getting any offers. Mark has a heart attack. Goes to the hospital. He's in the hospital for like 2 weeks. I can't get a hold of him, and they miss their payment. So I call up Eddie. I'm like, Eddie, we haven't got your payment. What's going on? He's like, I'm really sorry. Mark handled all the finances. He was the one making the payments, and I was just doing the work. I was doing my part. He was doing his part. Okay, so I'm like, well, we don't know what's going on with Mark. You need to jump in there and find out. So he gets involved in the finances, and he finds out that they're just a mess. Mark did not keep good books. The properties are cross-collateralized. They've used funds from rehab on one house to another house. Each house doesn't have its own expenses. While this is going on, while he's trying to figure out this, they get an offer for $220,000 on the house. I said, Eddie, that's a good offer. You're going to make $20,000. You got to accept this offer. He goes, I can't accept it. He's like, we have taken seconds on this property and all the other properties. I'm like, all right, so you took a second. He's like, well, the second didn't actually go towards the down payment. We used some of the seconds to do rehabs on some properties. And I'm like, oh no. So they lose all 6 properties. We take back all 6. Eddie did not know what was going on. He trusted Mark, but there was no transparency between the 2 partners, and there was no accountability between the 2 partners. The number one reason why I see a flip fail is a poor partnership. When I talk to someone on the phone and they say, I got this great property, this sounds good, and I say, who's involved? How many people are involved? And they start saying stuff that's raising red flags. I say, let's pump the brakes really quick because let's talk about the partnership agreement. Or they call it a joint venture agreement. Each partner should have a defined role, should be held accountable by the other partners, and have full transparency through all partners. Everyone should be agreeing on those three things. Another property. This one's in New Orleans. So 5 partners were involved in buying this property. You can see where I'm going with this. They buy it. This is how it looked like. Day one, they put $150,000 into it. A year later, we go out and check the property. That's what it looks like. See any difference? I'm like, what's going on, guys? $150,000. Yeah. So they're out of money. So you know what they decided to do? They said, we need to bring in more partners. They bring in 2 more partners. Now, general question, why would you bring more partners into a deal? What are some of the benefits of doing that? Capital.
Sell it faster, get out.
Sell it faster.
Spreading the risk.
Spreading the risk. Right. So those are the reasons why I thought too, right? You could spread the risk around, spread the responsibility around. So I spend less time on this deal. If it does end up losing money, I lose less of my own money. But what happens was, when new partners come into the deal, you know what they want? They say, it's my money at stake, so my opinions now matter. I'm making the decisions now. And the other 5 partners that already had, I think they bought it for like $400,000 plus $150,000. They're just like, my money's already at risk. It's my opinions that matter. I should be the one making decisions. So that's a year after that. So you see the difference between the house? So they put $40,000 more into the house. They couldn't get anything done. There's so much confusion within the partnership. There's not a set agreement of who makes decisions, who does this, who does that. They end up taking a big loss. So partnerships go wrong. When a lender gets involved in a deal, something has gone horribly wrong. As a lender, when I get involved in a deal, I want to know who is making the decisions and who has assets at risk. Whose money is involved in this house? I want to know who has the experience, who's bringing the money, who's making the decisions. Okay. If there is a partner, I'm going to read this because it's, if a partner only has potential profits to gain without the possibility of a loss, we want them out of the decision making, and if possible, out of the partnership. The partner that doesn't have assets at risk or possible loss is the one that's pushing risky strategies. They are holding on to hope that we might make some money in this house. Meanwhile, what it's going to take is more money and more time. As a lender, we want to get the most money out of that house in the quickest amount of time. Because once one partner files for bankruptcy, that deal has just became a year-long process. So, questions to ask before a home is bought and closed. Does the partner that's bringing the money have the final decision? Does the partner with the experience have the final decision? Will the partner that paid the down payment also be paying the ongoing expenses? Whose bank account are you using? Who has access to that bank account? Biggest red flag. The partner that does not have money in the deal, that does not have the experience, is making the decisions because they have the strongest personality. It's the biggest red flag I see in a partnership. Caption challenge. All right, you're a real estate agent, you're listing this house. How would you describe this bathroom?
Excellent views. Open concept.
Open concept. This is a real bathroom, guys. Look, there's tile here. They have cut off the there's tile, there is plumbing, there is toilet paper.
Is that artwork or is that actually? No, it's actually.
That- Yeah, so bathroom with a view, open concept, easy access bathroom. All right, let's talk about contractors. All right, right here in Phoenix, Cherry Lynn District, Nancy. Nancy bought this property. This was 2 years ago, 2019. She's a retired school bus driver. She has no experience flipping homes, no experience with contracting. Totally okay. Everyone's got to start somewhere. She finds a house, wholesale property, $289,000. Cherry Lynn District's great. You got properties that have sold from $200,000 to $1 million there. Literally 4 houses down, just closed for $620,000. Same square footage. This one course, Cherryland District, some of it's historic, some of it's not. This one was built in the 50s. The home a few doors down was built in the 20s. Lots of character. But it's a good comp because it's right there on the same street. So I go walk the property with Nancy and I say, Nancy, I got some concerns. Like, I do like the price you're buying it at, but homes in this neighborhood are selling because they have character. This home is, they've converted the one-car garage to more livable space. It's an ugly looking house. I look at the floor plan. It's got a hallway kitchen. Backyard is just dirt. It's a huge backyard, but just dirt, overgrown. The master bathroom it's a huge room, and it's got like a sink on one side, shower and tub. I'm like, it's just not set up well. So I like the home, but I have concerns about what needs to be done to get it to where we need it to so you make money. She goes, I've got a contractor I really like. Okay. I get his quote. I meet the contractor at the house. We walk it through with Nancy again. His bid's for $80,000. I like the contractor. He's got a good quote. We're walking through what he's going to do. Nancy is talking about design ideas, what she's going to change in the front. He's on board. I'm on board. I fund the deal. We close on it. A couple weeks go by. I don't hear from him. I call up Nancy. I go, Nancy, hey, how's it going? I haven't heard from you. You haven't taken a rehab draw. She goes, oh, I'm painting. I'm like, you're painting? She's like, yeah, I decided I could save some money if I do the work myself, so I'm painting the house. And my mouth just dropped. I'm like, Nancy, no, Nancy. I mean, you guys, there's a huge difference between a homeowner's quality of work and a contractor's quality of work. So some more time goes by. I say, look, at this point, I'm just a lender. It's her house. She's got to make her own decisions. I give her my advice, but there's still value in the home. Month goes by. I say, Nancy, I'm going to swing by the house, see how it's going. She gives me the code. I walk in. Walls and about half the house have been painted. She didn't do any drywall repairs before. The paint color is just like like a light blue. It's weird. It doesn't look good. And I'm like, I know exactly what happened. She got in here. She's like, I'm going to save money. She had mentioned YouTube and putting tile in. I'm like, have you done tile? No, I've never done tile before, but I can watch some YouTube videos. Oh, heavens. So I'm like, she got done with half of the house. She probably spent a week painting it. And then she looked back at her work and she's like, this has made zero difference at all. Why am I doing that? And she just got over her head. So she puts the home on the market as is. She sells it. She takes a loss. There's a big difference between homeowner's work and a contractor's work, the quality. Here's something I hear a lot. Not a lot. This is something I hear, and it's, oh, who are you going to use for your work? Oh, I've got my brother-in-law. He's got some construction experience, and he's out of work right now, so I'm going to use him. It's going to work out perfectly. No, that doesn't work at all. It doesn't work at all. Oh, this is one of my mistakes. Okay. Bought this property in Mesa off 8th Drive. Beautiful little house, 2-1, built in like 1916. And so you can see I tore out the kitchen, put in a new kitchen. Right before I did this house, I had flipped a historic home in Phoenix. And the historic home in Phoenix had these beautiful custom cabinets. The top were white cabinets with glass inserts. The bottom were the same, but they're totally beat up. So I'm like, I don't want to replace both of them because I want to keep these top because I love the character, I love how they look. So all I did, I replaced the bottom with a dark, like a mahogany, and it turned out beautiful. It all fit. You walked in, you're like, yeah, the lower base cabinets are dark brown, the uppers are white, but the kitchen worked. So this one, I had all these leftover cabinets in my garage from all these different kitchens. And I'm like, you know what? It's not a very big kitchen. I could do a Cherry Island. I'll do my brown base cabinets. And then I've got some leftover upper whites. And then I put it all together. I'm like, this is not good. This didn't work. Still sold the house, but don't cut corners. All right.
Did you sell it with the kitchen looking like that, or did you paint all the cabinets one color?
I sold it just like that. The thing is, what I learned flipping a home, the most important part is buying it at the right price. Because if you list a home, you don't have to be the highest list price in that neighborhood. So if you list a flip home and it's not perfect, as long as you're priced right, you're going to sell it. And as long as you bought it right, you'll still make money. So I still made money on this house. It's a real cute house. But yeah, they got a brand new kitchen that they probably redesigned afterwards. I love this example. These are 4 bathrooms that I've seen. What I like about it is each one of these bathrooms, the tile job costs $1,800. When you go contractor, good, better, best. Contractors have different, quality of work, but the pricing, if I get a contractor to do the surround tile in a bathroom, that's about $1,800. This one was $1,800, that one was $1,800, that one was $1,800, that was an $1,800. But the quality of work is much different. So, contractors. I've found that contractors have an expiration date. I do 10 flips with the same contractor. Love his work. At some point, the quality goes down, takes longer to get finished, his prices go up. If I paid $1,000 for a tile job today, and then next week I buy a similar home with the exact same amount of tile, I'd like it to be $1,000 too. I'd like the quality to be the same. I'd like the timing to be the same amount. Finding a consistent contractor is very difficult. How do you find a good one? Trial and error. Yeah. Referrals are nice. If you can see their work is nice. I like seeing time frames. How long did it take you to get this job done? Does the contractor self-perform? If I'm doing a big job, $100,000 remodel, and I'm hiring a general contractor to take care of everything, say, do you self-perform? That means is, do they have their own employees that work for them, or are they subcontracting everything out? So if I walk into the house and the baseboards are wrong, and I'm with my general contractor, I'm saying, those baseboards are wrong. Can you get someone to fix those? If he self-performs, he's grabbing someone that's already at the house, say, hey, Jim, fix those baseboards. This isn't right. But if he did a subcontractor, it's a phone call. I need you to come back out to the property. You did this wrong per our agreement. And he's arguing with another contractor to get the work done right. Hire, slow, fire, fast. Take your time to get a good contractor. When it's taking longer than it needs to, when they're asking for payments before work has been completed, a lot of times it's this fear of the unknown of, it's going to be such a hassle to find another contractor to finish this work. Get them out of there quick. Okay? You get a contractor that gets in there and gets the job done, the project won't drag on for months and months and months. Hire slow, fire fast.
What kind of deposits do you give? Like if they need to go buy granite or paint or whatever, what's a general rule to follow?
Yeah. Each contractor is different, and it depends on how much you've worked with them, how much you trust them. So on some jobs, I'm fine giving the contractor half up front. If I've never worked with them before and I'm kind of iffy about them, then I come up with a payment plan that goes along with the timeline of the house. So I'm like, look, let's start you off with $5,000 so you can buy some materials and get the demo and the paint started or whatever the next step is. But then your next $10,000 won't happen until demo and paint are done. And then we're both on the same page. If something else comes up, okay, let's deal with it. But from the beginning, we have a payment plan and we have a timeline of when the rehab's going to be done. Yeah.
Do you have a penalty fee if they don't finish on time? No.
I've never done one. I've done little incentives. I haven't seen them make too much of a difference. If you finish this project in 2.5 weeks instead of 3 weeks, I'll give you an extra $500. The project takes as long as it takes. If someone is a really good contractor, they're getting it done as quickly as they can because they'll want to finish your job and go on to the next one. That little incentive I haven't seen make a difference.
On the last half.
All right, budget. I love an itemized budget. As many details as they can put on that budget, please do. If you were to get these two from 2 different contractors, which one do you like more? Right. You want them to break it down and say, all right, if I'm doing the kitchen, there's going to be all this little stuff that comes up. List it there so I know exactly what I'm paying for. What this one does here is it gives interpretation for change orders. Change orders are deal killers. They increase your budget and they increase the time. the more itemized things that we can have on the original budget, the more I can go back to and say, hey, look, you can't charge me for the paint touch-up. You already charged me for the paint touch-up. You can't charge me for the hardware. You already put it in your original quote. So rule of thumb that I like to use, for every $10,000 in my budget, I like 1 page of itemized work from the contractor. So if there's a $50,000 budget, I want 5 pages of itemized work.
Do you usually pay for materials?
I don't like to. So when I was flipping homes, it mattered how many homes I was doing. So if I was doing 3 or less, then I was putting on the tool belt, I was doing some of the work, and I was buying the materials. But if I had 5 to 8, then I was only supervising the general contractors that I hired to do a turnkey job. Yeah, I like both ways. If you're going to buy the materials yourself, sometimes you can save money. Sometimes contractors have good deals with Lowe's and Depot and other places. Like plumbing supply places, you need to have a license to buy plumbing supplies there. And a water heater from that plumbing supply is always cheaper than at Home Depot. I came up with this a few years ago. My boss uses it now. The other loan originators use this. And it's like, I need to come up with a quick way to put a rehab on a house. I need a number to start with, like a Zestimate. Zestimate's a good number to start with if you're finding the value. So it's amazing how, when we check this, how close these numbers come. This is for a full rehab. No walls are being moved. Okay, top to bottom. Baseboards, paint, flooring, hardware, fixtures, new kitchen, new bathrooms. If you have a home built in 2000, you're about $25 a square feet. Or later, if you have a home built before 1959, about $40 a square foot. So, for example, 1,800 square foot house that was built in 2004, I need to do a full rehab on it. It's about $45,000. An 1,800 square foot house that was built in 1940, I need to do a full rehab on it. It's about $72,000. All right, contractors don't like filling this out. This is an actual timeline of a home I flipped. I put the first date on there, September 23rd. On that date, demo was starting. I think it's going to take 2 days, site cleanup. I have every single thing listed in that rehab right there. All the way down to staging, keys to the real estate agent. On October 22nd, they're getting the keys. Did we stick to this timeline? Of course not. But it gives me and it gives my contractor something to start with. It says, all right, we have this whole rehab planned out. Of course, something's going to come up and go wrong. Maybe the cabinets take an extra week to get here. But you know from the start, we are going to start the cabinets on October 4th. So whatever you need to order them, do that. For the windows, for the AC unit. Plan so we can try to hit this timeline. If it doesn't work, that's fine. Let's change the timeline, but let's never forget about it. If you're working with a contractor for the first time, this is great to add the payments on the timeline. Okay, once the exterior work's done, you get $10,000. Once this is done, you get another $5,000. Once the painting's done, you get another $10,000. We're both on the same page. So, rehab design. What do I say? This is rehab design. We're getting to rehab quality. Rehab design. There's 2 trains of thoughts, okay, when it comes to rehab, how to design a home. There are investors, very successful investors that do both. Here's the first one. I want to be creative. I want to be original. I want to remodel this home so it's different than everything else. I want to be unique. Here's the other side. Copy, 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 copy. What has sold before, I'm going to copy that rehab and sell my home for the same price. When it comes to copy, 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 I love this line, barely as nice as. You want to rehab your house barely as nice as the home that just closed in that neighborhood. So, when I buy a house, I ask a simple question. Do I want to fit in or do I want to stand out? Where's the buyer's pool in this neighborhood? Do I need to fit in and be like just all the other homes, or do I need to stand out? What will get me the most amount of money in the shortest amount of time? If you are flipping a home for the first time, do not be unique. Do not try to stand out. You want to copy what's already been there. There's a time for you to be unique. Get some flips under your belt first. Okay? Have I ever regretted painting beige walls and white shaker cabinets and standard granite? No. Yeah, it's a little bland. But have I regretted doing a blue kitchen, building a tree house at one house, doing a custom mural in the living room? Yeah. So, rehab design. I call it comp standard or comp unique. Comp standard is fitting in, it's copying. Comp unique is being original. That's the first question I'm asking myself. Rehab quality. 3 levels: builder grade, mid-level, and high-end. Builder grade is carpet paint granite on the market. Just putting lipstick on it, making it look nice, clean. It'll qualify for a loan. Mid-level is nice quality or good quality, but there's no design to it. There's no interior designer. You're taking the existing home and making it look really nice, but you're not moving any walls. High-end is you're moving walls. You're doing high-end is the best materials and interior designer and a stager. You're making it look very nice. You're doing the fancy ceilings, custom tile. Rehab amount. I feel like I just combined those. Yeah, so cosmetic. Rehab amount, the amount of rehab. Cosmetic is carpet paint granite. Builder grade is low level materials. Everything is changed. Yep. Full rehab. Everything. You're taking the existing home and remodeling everything in there. Add value is you're moving walls. You're doing an addition. So when I buy a house in a historic district, I'm doing a comp unique design, I'm doing a high-end quality, and I'm doing an add value. I'm adding another bathroom. If I have no experience flipping a home, it's my first flip. I want to get that first one under my belt for the experience with the least amount of chance of loss. I am looking for a home that I'm going to do a comp standard, copy what's already existing, builder grade, cosmetic. Comp standard, builder grade, cosmetic. Quickest rehab, smallest chance of a loss. That's me, you guys. I teach. I enjoy teaching. When I started off, I didn't know what I was doing. I had a lot of fear too. I had a lot of what ifs when I bought my first property. But once you get that first one and you make some money on it, it's like a light bulb goes off in your head. I see the whole process now from start to finish. Yeah, I made some mistakes, but there was money at the end of it, and it was a lot of fun. And I want to do this as many times as I can. If I can teach something where I help each of you take that next step, or to help your clients take the next step, that's what I'm trying to do today. Thank you for being here. My name is Andrew Bang with Boomerang Capital, and I'm the best flipping lender.